This was in New York, this was in New York, this was in New York, this was in New York.
Good morning, welcome to day 5. I'm remembering to vlog before I leave the hotel today. Just about to head to the conference. It's like 8:45 and the talks start at 10 past, so should be just enough time for me to grab some breakfast. The first speaker today is a mystery speaker. I'm not quite sure why it's a mystery or like what to expect from that, but anyway, should be good. I'm making the mistake though of, I was doing some work this morning and also editing yesterday's vlog and realized that I didn't have my laptop plugged in, so now I'm heading to a conference with 50% battery, which is like not a good idea. Okay everyone, I'm aware you just saw a bunch of different footage with not all that much explanation around it. In fact, none at all. Just wanted to recap my day. So today I felt like the talks were much more relevant to me than yesterday, in that yesterday there was a lot of things that were very detailed and like way over my head. Like I think I said, I need to do much more coding knowledge before I can begin to understand what some of them were about, but I mean, it's still good to be embedded and immersed, that's the word, with this stuff. So yeah, it was good. Today though, there was a bunch of really great talks. Probably my favorite talks were today. The first speaker, the mystery speaker that I think I mentioned, was Harry Roberts, I think was his name, and he talked about performance. So I knew that was something I had to care about, but I didn't know where to actually begin with that, with worrying about my page loading times and like what to even do about it to make it better. And his talk gave loads of really good steps of things to take to make that happen, which was awesome. So I've written lots of notes from him of action points that I'm going to take. There was a talk about design psychology as well, and using it more for getting your ideas across and like signed off on, I guess. I've heard a lot about design psychology with getting users to buy a product or whatever, but this time it was more about getting buy-in from teammates, from clients, from the CEO of the company or whatever. So that was really cool. He talked about using data, talking to business. I don't know, it was just really good. Enjoyed the talk. Next up was Umar, who you actually saw in a previous clip. He spoke about dev tools and tips for like using them in some really awesome ways. So dev tools is when, like, this is all I do with right now, is go in Chrome, go inspect element to like have a look at the code, to try and play around and like make things work how I want it to. But it can do so much more than that, and I didn't actually realize until today. So he showed loads of really cool tips for like, in the performance tab you can like throttle your network, so it appears like it's on a 2G connection or whatever, which is good for testing how your site works in different places. By the way, I'm just looking at my notes on my laptop from today, so if you wonder why I keep looking away. Something I was really excited about was Yiying Lu. Yiying is the designer of the Twitter fail whale, which anyone who was on Twitter like in the early days got very used to seeing, and so that was cool that she's the artist, designer, whatever you want to call it, who created that. And she talked a lot about diversity and how she handles that in her designs, like designing for brands in Asian countries or that need to span both Asian languages and English. Really interesting, love the talks today. I did 2 things today that I'm proud of, and you're probably sick of me talking about how I'm proud for talking to other people, but whatever. The first one is that I decided that I wanted to meet some other designers at the conference, because I'd mostly been talking to developers so far. So I posted in the Slack channel, which is really cool that Smashing Conf had a Slack channel for me to do this in, and I was like, hey, any designers want to meet up for lunch? And there was a group of like 5 of us, went to get Mexican food for lunch, which was cool, and it was nice to hear about their companies and how their teams work. That's always really valuable stuff. And then in the second half of the day, I sat next to Umar, the speaker that I was talking about during the conference. And then after it, I wasn't really feeling like I wanted to go to the party tonight. There was one, it was like in an arcade, which would have been cool, but just didn't feel like being in like a loud environment with lots of people again. Typical introvertness, but I decided to ask Umar if he wanted to go get a drink instead. We didn't get a drink, instead we walked around Central Park. We ran into that orchestra, which was pretty damn cool. And then to get dinner, we decided to take the ferry over to Williamsburg because I'd heard that it was really great to see the New York skyline from there at night because it's all pretty and sparkly, and yep, it was awesome. We had dinner over there and then came back. And it was really nice. Had lots of really good chats and got to know him. It was cool. And Umar, if you're watching, hello, and we will definitely hang out back in London because he's from London as well. Anyway, that's enough for today. Really good conference overall. Loved Smashing Conf, and I think I would definitely like to come back again. It was a really good mix of design and code for me. It was probably like a little heavy on the code side. Like if this was this time last year and I was going, it wouldn't have been right for me because there was a lot of code stuff and yeah, more detailed code stuff than you usually find at design focused conferences, but that's why it was good and that's why I'm here. Like I think I said yesterday, when I take notes at conferences, I don't like writing down everything the speaker is saying. Instead, I like to write down action points or like my own personal thoughts on what the speaker's saying, like a thought it triggers in my head. And so I end up with this doc that I'm looking at right now as a mix of like, check out this website, you know, and or like, yeah, random thoughts. Sometimes I wrote down a bit of code if it's something I wanted to make sure I remember to try out later. Great conference, really, really pleased that I came to it. Tomorrow, going back to normal work day. I've got so much work to do. I really didn't get anything done during the breaks or whatever because I was talking to people, which is good because that's kind of what you go to a conference for, is for the other people that you meet there, because otherwise you could just like watch a video online, right? So if you haven't been enjoying these conference vlogs, then I guess tomorrow we'll be back to normal like remote work life, so hopefully you'll enjoy that. I don't know. I do want to remind you that this Saturday I am having a meetup. It still feels weird to say that. Basically it's just lunch in a park. I will be there with my friend Eric, and if you want to join then you are welcome, and please come along because I would love to meet you. Here's all the details on the screen right now. Thank you for watching this vlog. I'm sorry that these past 2 days have been not typical vlogs. Thank you for watching anyway. Thank you for putting up with it, and we're back to normal tomorrow. Give this vlog a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and yeah, I will see you tomorrow. Bye.